brother carried on an affair with my fiancée for months and left her pregnant before my wedding, while Can you even imagine looking into the eyes of the woman you're about to marry, the woman you love more than anything, only for her to tell you she's pregnant, and the father is your own brother? My entire world didn't just crack. It shattered into a million pieces the moment those words left her lips. And that, my friends, was just the beginning of a nightmare I'm still trying to wake up from. Story narration. Okay, so buckle up, because this is a long one and trust me, it's as messed up as it sounds. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, but I'll protect identities where I can.
I just need to get this off my chest.
I'm a 32-year-old guy, and up until a few months ago, I was engaged to Sarah, my girlfriend of 5 years. She was everything. My younger brother, Mike, is 29, and he's always been the golden child.
You know the type.
To really understand the depth of this betrayal and why it cuts so deep, you need to know about my family dynamic. It wasn't just sibling rivalry. It was blatant, extreme favoritism. Mike would break something, I'd get blamed. He'd start a fight, I'd be grounded. If we both got straight A's, he'd get a new video game console, and I'd get a pat on the back. My parents, Tom and Linda, always had an excuse. Mike's younger. He needs more attention. You're the older one. You should know better. Mike's just more sensitive. It was a constant barrage of double standards and gaslighting that left me feeling worthless in my own home. As we got older, it only got worse. I got into a good college on a partial scholarship. They barely acknowledged it. Mike decided to go to community college, and they threw him a huge party, bought him a car. Never mind, I'd been biking 5 miles each way to my part-time job for years. I moved out as soon as I could, put myself through college working 2 jobs. Mike dropped out after a semester. My parents? They praised him for knowing himself. They even bankrolled his endless series of failed business ventures. Despite the distance I tried to keep, they always found a way to drag me back in. Holiday dinners were a nightmare of subtle jabs and not-so-subtle comparisons. Oh, you're still at that entry-level job? Well, Mike's thinking of starting another business. He's so entrepreneurial. All while I was building a stable career, and Mike was burning through their retirement fund. I tried to have a relationship with Mike, though. He was still my brother, but it was always one-sided. I'd reach out, try to connect, and he'd either ignore me or find a way to turn it into a competition he could win. If I got a promotion, he'd suddenly have a big opportunity coming up. It was during one of my attempts to reconnect with him that I met Sarah. She was a friend of one of his short-lived girlfriends, and we just clicked. She was smart, funny, kind, gorgeous. For the first time, I felt truly happy. My parents were, predictably, less than thrilled. Snide comments about Sarah being out of my league. Mike, on the other hand, suddenly became very interested in my life. He'd ask about Sarah constantly. I was just happy he seemed to care. Looking back, huge, flashing red flags. Sarah and I moved in together. Things were great. We had good jobs, we traveled, we talked about the future. I proposed on our 4th anniversary. It wasn't flashy, just a quiet dinner and a heartfelt speech. She said yes. I was on top of the world. We decided on a long engagement, no rush. Or so I thought. When we told my family, the reactions were telling. My mom plastered on a fake smile. "Oh, how nice," in a tone that said the exact opposite. My dad grunted, "Good luck with that," and turned back to the TV. Mike's reaction was the strangest. He congratulated us, but there was something off about his smile. Almost predatory. I brushed it off. The next year was a blur of wedding planning and work stress. Sarah and I were putting in long hours, saving up. We didn't see each other as much, but I told myself it was just a phase. Every couple goes through it, right? But looking back, the signs were there. Sarah became distant, always on her phone, smiling at texts from just a friend from work. She started going out more, coming home late, smelling of alcohol and cologne. But I trusted her. Completely. I never even considered cheating, let alone with my own brother. Then about 4 months ago, Sarah started acting even stranger. Moody, irritable, constantly nauseous. I actually thought she was pregnant, and I was thrilled at the idea. We hadn't been trying, but we talked about kids. I started imagining nursery colors. Then one night, she sat me down, tears in her eyes, and dropped the bomb. She was pregnant. But it wasn't mine. I was stunned. We hadn't been intimate in a while, but this? When I asked who the father was, she broke down. Whispered, "It's Mike." My entire world shattered. Everything I thought I knew, everything I'd built my life around, it all came crashing down. I couldn't breathe.
Couldn't think.
Just an overwhelming sense of betrayal and loss. Sarah tried to explain, her words tumbling out between sobs. It started at our engagement party. Mike had cornered her, told her she was making a mistake marrying me. He played on her insecurities, said he could give her everything I couldn't. It wasn't a one-time thing. They'd been having an affair for months. I kicked Sarah out that night. I couldn't stand to look at her. Couldn't be in the same room. She begged me to forgive her.
Said it was a mistake.
Said she loved me. But all I could think about was the lies. All the time she'd been with him, while wearing my ring. After she left, I called Mike.
I don't even remember what I said.
A blur of pure rage and pain. He tried to play it cool at first. Just a drunk mistake. But when I pressed him, he got defensive. Well, maybe if you'd been a better fiancé, she wouldn't have come to me. I saw red. Absolute, blinding red. I got in my car and drove to his apartment, ready to do something I'd regret. I don't know what I was planning, but when I got there, my parents were already there. Mike had called them first, spinning some story about Sarah seducing him, how sorry he was. And you know what? They believed him. They always do. My mom immediately started lecturing me about forgiveness and family. My dad just stood there, arms crossed, looking disappointed in me. Of course, not in his precious Mike. I tried to explain, but they wouldn't listen. They kept insisting I needed to forgive Mike, support Sarah through the pregnancy. Because family comes first. I lost it. Years of pent-up resentment, all that anger, came pouring out. I told them exactly what I thought of their twisted loyalty. How they'd always favored Mike, at my expense. How they'd never once taken my side. I told Mike he was dead to me. No longer my brother. And I told my parents they could have the son they always wanted, because they no longer had me. I stormed out, ignoring their shouts. Drove for hours. No destination, just needing to be away. When I finally went home, dozens of missed calls. Sarah begging. Mike alternating between apologies and accusations. But most were from my parents, demanding I man up and make amends. I ignored them all. Barely ate, barely slept. Called out of work. I just sat in my apartment, replaying every moment, trying to see where I'd gone wrong. It's been 3 months since. I moved to a new apartment, changed my number, started therapy. But my family won't let up. They keep finding ways to intrude. Showing up at my workplace. My mom cornered me in the parking lot, crying about how I was tearing the family apart. My dad leaves gruff voicemails. Mike himself tried to approach me a few times, but I've avoided him. They even sent flying monkeys, extended family members I haven't spoken to in years, to guilt-trip me. Family is important, they'd say. Let bygones be bygones. It's like they're living in an alternate reality where what Mike and Sarah did is just a small mistake. The latest development? Sarah messaged me. She's keeping the baby, co-parenting with Mike. And my parents? Over the moon about becoming grandparents. Ignoring everything. Her letter was full of apologies and explanations, talking about how she and Mike had found real love through this difficult situation. She even had the audacity to say she hoped we could all be friends for the sake of the child. I'm at my wit's end. Part of me just wants to cut ties completely, move to another state, change my name, build a new life where no one knows about this mess. But another part is so angry. I want to stay. I want to make them see how messed up this is. This betrayal has affected every aspect of my life. I can't stand to be alone with my thoughts. Dating? The thought of trusting someone like that again terrifies me. I've lost friends, too. People who think I should take the high road and reconcile. As if I'm the one in the wrong for not wanting to play happy families with the people who hurt me the most. The thought of Sarah and Mike raising a child together, a child that should have been mine, it's a constant knife in my gut. I know logically the child is innocent. It's not the baby's fault. But I can't bring myself to have any positive feelings about its existence. My parents have already started talking about how I need to be involved. How I'm going to be an uncle. The thought makes me physically ill. How am I supposed to look at this kid and not see the ultimate symbol of my brother's betrayal? So I started taking legal steps. My lawyer helped me get a restraining order against Mike and my parents. The hearing was a circus. My parents showed up with their own fancy lawyer, trying to paint me as unstable. My mom cried in court. My dad glared. But the judge wasn't buying it. The restraining order was granted. Mike's face, if looks could kill. As we were leaving, he tried to approach me. My lawyer stepped in, reminded him of the order. Mike just sneered. This isn't over. You can't hide behind a piece of paper forever. It shook me. The workplace drama? My mom showed up at my office, baby pictures in hand, sobbing to my coworkers about how her boys used to be so close. I had to have security escort her out. My boss was understanding, but I could tell some coworkers were wondering what kind of drama I was bringing in. Then the gym fight. Last Saturday, I was trying to punch out some anger. Mike showed up, smirking, running his mouth, loud enough for everyone to hear. I told him to leave, but he just laughed, threatening to tell people I was harassing them. That's when I lost it. I swung. My fist connected with his jaw. He stumbled, then lunged. We were on the floor, trading blows. Like kids again, but this time, no one to break it up. I got in a few good hits before staff pulled us apart. His nose was bleeding. My eye was swelling shut. We were both screaming. The manager threatened cops. That snapped me out of it. I grabbed my stuff and left. On the drive home, still shaking, Sarah called, screaming about how I'd broken Mike's nose. He might need surgery. I laughed. I couldn't help it. The absurdity. I told her I was sorry if I hurt her little boyfriend, the one she'd been sleeping with behind my back for months. She started sobbing, going on about her stress and the baby. I hung up, blocked her. The fallout was intense. My phone blew up. Some friends took my side, others called me names. Sarah's parents reached out again, supportive of me, disappointed in their daughter. A small comfort. Legal-wise, Mike filed assault charges against me. My lawyer says we'll fight it, but it's an uphill battle since I threw the first punch. We're filing our own charges against Mike for violating the restraining order. The gym banned us both for life. Humiliating. My cousin Amy, bless her, told me what the family's been saying. I'm having a mental breakdown. That Sarah and Mike only got together after we broke up. That I'm just jealous.
It infuriates me.
My boss eventually called me in, said he valued me, but suggested I take a leave of absence. A personal sabbatical. Paid. I wanted to argue. Work was the only thing keeping me sane. But I saw the decision was made. As I was leaving, I overheard coworkers whispering. I slammed my office door. Small satisfaction. I've been taking long drives at night, sometimes ending up outside my old place, the one Sarah and I shared, wondering how my life became this mess. But I found support from an unexpected source. Emma, Sarah's younger sister. She reached out, apologized for her sister. I was wary at first, but she's as disgusted by Sarah's behavior as I am. She's been feeding me intel. Mike and Sarah are playing house, painting themselves as victims on social media. Soulmates who found each other against all odds. It makes me sick. But knowledge is power. Social media became a nightmare. Someone, probably one of Mike's friends, posted about the gym fight in a local group. It didn't use our names, but it described enough that anyone who knew us could figure it out. The comments were a battleground. I deactivated my accounts. Can't deal with the constant notifications from people I haven't spoken to in years, suddenly wanting juicy details. With all this, I realized I can't stay in this city. Too many memories. Too many chances of running into them. I started looking into company transfers. Seattle has an opening. Not ideal. I'm not a fan of constant rain, but at this point, I'd move to the moon. My parents have been suspiciously quiet since the restraining order, waiting for the other shoe to drop. Sarah's been spreading news of her pregnancy far and wide. Emma tells me she's constantly posting ultrasound pictures, belly shots, captions about how blessed they are. Each update feels like a fresh wound. So, that's where things stood. Until a week ago. I had just gotten back from another meeting with my lawyer when I found a letter from Sarah. I almost threw it away,
but curiosity got me.
Inside, an ultrasound picture and a handwritten note. How excited she and Mike were. How she hoped I could find it in my heart to be happy for them. How the baby would love to have its uncle in its life. I saw red. Pure, unadulterated rage. I grabbed my phone, unblocked her number, and dialed. She picked up on the second ring, and I just let loose. I told her exactly what I thought of her, Mike, and their happy little family. I told her she was delusional if she thought I'd ever want anything to do with that kid. That as far as I was concerned, she, Mike, and the baby could all go to hell. It wasn't my finest moment, but it felt cathartic. Like I'd finally said all the things I'd been holding back. That's when I knew I couldn't stay here. I called my boss that same night, told him I wanted the Seattle transfer. He seemed relieved, honestly. He fast-tracked the paperwork. By morning it was official. 2 weeks to pack my life. The news spread like wildfire. My parents, predictably, were furious. They showed up at my apartment, unannounced, violating the restraining order again. My mom was crying, saying I was abandoning the family. My dad was red-faced, yelling about me being selfish and immature. I didn't engage. I called the police. Had them removed. As they were escorted out, my mom shouted, "You'll regret this. Family is everything." I just closed the door, went back to packing. Mike's reaction was different. No direct contact. Probably because of the pending legal issues. But he put up a long social media post about how some people can't handle seeing others happy. How he and Sarah were rising above the hate to focus on their new family. Clearly aimed at me, trying to paint himself as the victim. It stung to see all the likes and comments. But I reminded myself, their opinion doesn't matter. They don't know the truth. Sarah's reaction was the most surprising. After our phone call, she reached out to Emma. Emma told me Sarah broke down, admitted that she knew what she and Mike had done was wrong, and that she was terrified of the future. My cousin Amy, bless her, helped me pack. She even told me more about what's been happening with the family. My aunt, my mom's sister, had a huge blow-up with my mom. Called her out for always favoring Mike, for pushing me away. It got ugly, Amy said. My aunt told my mom and dad they were reaping what they'd sown. I can't say I'm not a little satisfied to hear that. The legal situation is still ongoing, but my lawyer assures me my move won't affect anything. We're still pressing charges against Mike for violating the restraining order, and we're fighting his assault charges. My lawyer's confident the judge will see through Mike's lies. My move across the country should also help prove I'm not a threat to him. So, I guess this is it. My final update on this whole mess. I'm not sure if I'll post anymore. Part of starting fresh means leaving the past behind. As helpful as this community has been, it's time for me to step away from rehashing this story. I need to focus on building my new life, not dwelling on the old one. Call to action. I've got a whole new life waiting for me in Seattle, and I intend to make the most of it. But I gotta ask you, seriously, what would you have done in my place? Have you ever had to completely cut ties with family or deal with a betrayal this deep? Tell me what you think. I really want to know.